screen for a second. You'll hear it say recording has started, and then you can get started, Jamie.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks everyone for joining us today for yoga. This is Jamie, she's our instructor. Our class is going to begin here in just a moment. Just to let you know, participation in this program is voluntary. We cannot diagnose problems or recommend treatment and are not a substitute for your doctor's care. Consult your doctor before beginning any exercise program or making changes to your lifestyle or health care routine. This class will also be recorded, so up to you if you want your screens on or not today.
Awesome, thank you, Jill. Hi everyone, welcome to yoga. My name is Jamie. I'll be leading our practice for the next hour. For your practice today, you'll want a yoga mat, and if space allows, you might want it parallel to how my mat is. For a lot of the class
Recording
today,
has started.
Hi everyone, welcome to yoga. My name is Jamie. I'll be leading practice for the next hour. For our class today, if you have it, please go ahead and grab a yoga mat. You would probably want your mat parallel to mine if you have space. For a lot of class, I'll be mirroring you. So my right is your left, my left is your right. And if you feel like it's necessary, you might want a yoga blanket or a pillow to place below your knees for certain postures. Otherwise, if you are ready, we will go ahead and get started. Please come onto your back with me. As we lie down, we are going to start off with some deep diaphragmatic breathing. As you lie down, you might have your head rested completely on the floor, your legs extended, your arms off to your side. As you inhale through your nose, you'll take the air into your belly, into your ribs, into your diaphragm. And as you exhale out through your nose, feel the belly deflate. We'll take that again. Breathing in through your nose, feeling the diaphragm expand, feeling even your belly rise towards the sky. We are looking to take in as much air as we can. And as we exhale with control, out through your nose or mouth if you're feeling congested. Let's take this just one more time. As you inhale, breathing in through your nose, take this time to set your intention for practice. This intention might be a physical goal. It might be something physical, mental, emotional. And exhale out through your nose. On this next breath, let's take your hands and feet up to the sky. And we'll start with the ankles and wrists as we rotate outward. And as we articulate our joints, we're just bringing some movement. We might feel stretching into the forearms, into the calves. Throughout our practice today, we'll be focusing on opening our body, but specifically our hips and shoulders. Let's move the ankles and wrists into a different direction. On this next breath, we're going to flex our fingertips and toes. So you'll push your palms and heels to the sky. What might you feel here? You might feel a stretch right in the back of your calves, right into the heart of your forearms. Now we're going to point. So you might feel a stretch in the tops of the ankles and even the top portion of your forearms. Let's do that one more time so we can get an accurate feel. And we'll round. On this next breath, let's go ahead and take both knees into the chest. And we'll do this together. We'll take our knees clockwise. So throughout practice today, I'll say things if we do it together. That means you're probably matching what I'm doing. And if I mirror you, you might be doing the exact opposite. If you are set up that it's not parallel to mine, don't worry about it. We only have two sides. So you can choose what you're most comfortable with. Let's take your knees and we'll move counterclockwise. And what might you feel here? You might feel a bit of opening into the lower back. It might feel like a massage from earth to spine. On this next breath, we're going to take the right ankle above the left knee. We'll do this together. With both hands, we'll interlace underneath the left thigh. And as you pull in towards your body, you might feel a deep stretch on the outer right side of your hip. As we lie down and feel the stretch, make sure that your head is rested onto your mat. It's not uncommon for us to feel sometimes crunched up. We want to do the best we can to feel relaxed in the upper neck and in the upper back. We'll go ahead and switch legs. Let's take the left ankle above the right knee. We'll take our hands, interlace underneath the right thigh. The further away your arms, the less intense this stretch. That might be perfect for you. If you want a deeper stretch, you might pull the leg closer towards your body. So remember, class is really scalable to what you're looking for today. On this next breath, we are going to go ahead and release the legs. We'll take the knees into chest once more. So here's the next option. We can roll forward and back. And as you do this, you might feel a wonderful massage elongate your spine. If this feels like too much pressure, you might skip this portion and meet in tabletop. We'll take this one more time through. I will meet you in tabletop. That is hands below shoulders, knees below hips. So we will stay right here for a moment. In tabletop, we are looking for what's called a neutral spine. That means a flat back. With your hands below shoulders and with your spine in neutral, we'll take one big breath here. In through your nose, out through your nose or mouth. Let's add movement to this breath. As you inhale, we'll drop the belly down to the earth, the chin up towards the sky. We are hyperextending your spine, feeling a stretch into the abdominal wall. On exhale, drop the head, round the back. Feel the stretch even in the middle of your upper back. Let's take this 2 more times. Inhale through your nose, belly breath. Feeling the stretch in the front of your body. As you exhale, drop the head, round the back. Feeling the stretch between your shoulder blades. Maybe even in the middle of your back. Maybe even in the lower part of your tailbone. Let's take this again. Inhale, belly breath. And so throughout our practice today, if you're doing a move and it doesn't feel as if you're going very far, that is okay. What we care about more is the sensation that we feel when we attempt these poses. For some of us, these postures are brand new. And when it's brand new, sometimes we don't know what we should feel, and that's okay. Next, we slowly work our way into tabletop. So that flat back position again. On this next breath, I'm going to mirror you this time. Take your right hand, so to my left, take your right arm, reach up towards the sky. We'll stay here for a moment. Now, if your neck allows, you'll look up to your top right hand. If it feels stressful on your neck, you're going to look down to your bottom hand. So you can choose from here. This is inhale, thread the needle. On your exhale, take your right arm underneath your body. Let your head rest on the mat. Take your left arm behind your back. You might stay here for a moment. Feel the stretch in the middle of your back. Feel the stretch in the back of your right shoulder. We slowly reverse our way back. Left hand below shoulder. Right arm back up towards the sky. Exhale into tabletop. On this next breath, let's take your left arm up towards the sky. Are you able to look up to your top hand? Does that feel heavy? If so, look down. Feeling the stretch into your chest and biceps, reach, inhale. On exhale, thread the needle, arm under, head down, top arm behind your back. So now we're on the other shoulder. feeling what's called a rear delt stretch. Feeling the muscles right in the middle of your upper back open and giving your head a chance to rest so that your neck doesn't have to do any extra work. You'll hear that reference throughout class today. We want to make sure that our neck works only when we want it to. Let's go ahead and reverse our way back. I'll meet you back in tabletop. Remember, flat back. With your hands below shoulder, neutral spine, we're going to step 1 foot back at a time into your plank position. Now, for practice today, plank will be hips as high as shoulder. If you're here and you feel tightness in your lower back, what I invite you to do is drop those knees down. So this is your modified plank. Otherwise, you can stay here into your high plank. I'll meet you in downward facing dog. You'll keep your hands below shoulders. Let's keep your toes where they are. Bring the hips high to the sky and let your head drive between both arms. Downward facing dog, a very popular pose in yoga. In this posture, we feel a deep stretch right into the shoulders and the chest. In the back of the legs, the hamstrings, and the lower legs, the calves. I invite you to bend one knee at a time, alternating. It doesn't matter which side you start with. We'll take it very casually here. As you feel one leg stretch almost independently of the other. So as we do what's called a walk the dog, we feel that slight stretch. We feel that slight pressure, shifting. On this next breath, let's find stillness. So we're not moving at all. On inhale, let's pick up your heels so you'll tippy toe. On exhale, you'll bend both knees. On inhale, walk your feet to your hands. We're going into a standing forward fold, also called Uttanasana in yoga. You'll let your head drop completely. So again, sometimes it's common to look ahead, to look forward. What we'll do is relax our neck so we can feel a stretch into what's called our cervical spine. You might feel comfortable to grab the opposite elbow and sway side to side. Anytime we fold today in class, you're welcome to bend your knees like I'm doing right here. This takes a lot of pressure off the back and even the back of the legs. But maybe you're feeling pretty flexible. Maybe you prefer to straighten your legs. Just make sure you don't lock your legs 100%, maybe 95%. Okay, friends, give yourself a few more breaths here in Ragdoll Uttanasana, forward fold. On this next breath, we're going to roll up slowly. Imagine going up joint by joint, feeling the back of your spine stretch out. We'll meet in mountain pose, arms to your side. Let's bring the feet together if that's available for you. If it doesn't feel comfortable, you can have your feet apart. As you inhale, let's bring your arms up towards the sky. If it feels okay, you'll look up. If not, you'll look forward. As you exhale, swan dive into forward fold. We were just there. As you inhale, let's come up halfway, feeling that flat back like we did in tabletop. As you exhale, let's meet in plank. You're welcome to modify. From plank position, you'll come with me. Let's do option 1. This means if you haven't really done yoga before, then you'll join me. You'll bring the knees down, bending at both elbows so they're pointing backwards. Bring your body to the mat. As you inhale, you'll do what's called a cobra. Chest off the floor, chin up to the sky. Exhale, bring your body back down. You can do a modified push away from the floor or a full push. Exhale, we will all meet in downward facing dog. I'm going to mirror you. On inhale, take your left leg high to the sky. On exhale, step your left foot through, right knee down to the mat or to a blanket. So I did mention at the very start of class, if you're here, you might want to grab a blanket or a pillow if your knee gets sensitive touching the floor. If it doesn't bother you, don't worry about it. You can have your knee onto your mat. We'll bring the arms up adjacent to our ears. We are in low lunge, Anjanasana. In this posture, you're going to feel a stretch in your hip flexor. With your arms up and your head up towards the sky, we'll take a few deep breaths here. Opening our body in the front but controlling our stability through our feet and even strengthening parts of our lower body as we stay still. So sometimes yoga, we feel like there are difficult parts to it. The response is us breathing and staying calm. This next breath, let's go ahead and bring the hands below the shoulders. You'll go ahead and step your left foot back to meet right. This is your plank position. So friends who are doing option 1, you can bring your knees back down to the mat. Friends who are following me, option 2, let's bend those elbows. You'll come about halfway down. Inhale, flip your feet, upward facing dog. Exhale, flip your feet, downward facing dog. On this next breath, we're going to switch legs. Again, I am mirroring you. Inhale, your right leg high to the sky. On exhale, right foot through, left knee down to the blanket or straight to the mat. You are in control. This is low lunge. We'll bring the arms up adjacent to our ears. So there are no super hard rules here. If bringing your arms up makes it a little stressful, you can have your hands on your front thigh. But over time, you're looking to see if you can gain that confidence and stability in your hips to not have to use your hands. So now we feel a stretch in the opposite hip flexion. From here, let's slowly bring our hands down below the shoulders. You'll step your right foot back to meet left into plank. From plank, which do you prefer? Option 1 or option 2? I'll do option 2 with you if you choose. Coming halfway down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale up onto your toes. Exhale, bend both knees. Inhale, walk your feet to your hands. We are in standing forward fold yet again. Go ahead and grab the opposite elbow if that's available to you. If not, no problem. And we roll our way up, one joint at a time, and we'll bring our arms to our sides. Catch your breath. We are in mountain pose. In mountain pose, arms are long, feet together possibly. And we're rooting down. What does that mean? That means that we're strong into our feet. On this next breath, inhale those arms up high to the sky. On exhale, swan dive those hands down into forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. On exhale, hands below shoulders. Step one foot back at a time. I'll meet you in plank. You choose option 1 or 2. I'll do option 1. Knees down. Bend those elbows, body down to the mat. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, body down. Modified, push your body away from the earth. I'll meet you back in downward facing dog. We're going to get into our flow. And the heart of our practice today, we're looking to open up our hips and our shoulders. When you are ready, inhale, your left leg high to the sky. On exhale, left foot through. It is high crescent lunge. You can start with your hands on your hips for stability. Once you're here, we do want to make sure that the hips are right below the shoulders. If and when you're ready, we bring those arms up high. In high crescent lunge, we feel something similar to what we felt in low lunge when that back knee was down to the floor. You might recall that just a couple postures ago. Here we are. Take your balance, hands at heart center or overhead. In high lunge, take note, my back heel is lifted. That's how we really allow that hip to truly open up. Let's slowly bring those hands to heart center. You're going to turn your body over your left side, so you should feel a twist. Hands at your heart center, turning your torso over your left side. You can either A, stay right here, or B, hook your elbow outside of your left thigh. Now this one does require a bit more strength, so you're welcome to try this out. How does that feel? If it's available, open your arms. If that feels like too much, reverse back. Or if you want more, you might even reach for a shoulder bind of some sort. On this next breath, open the arms, hands back to heart center. Let's meet back in high crescent lunge. So we're going back to where we just were. Arms are lifted. On this next breath, your right heel that's off the floor, place it down. So now you have your left knee bent, your right heel down and glued, and we feel a little calf stretch in that back leg. On this next breath, inhale, arms up. On exhale, hands behind your back. There are a couple options here. You can either stay here, bring your fists together, or bring your palms together. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, you'll drop your head downward. Maybe hands up to the sky. Humble warrior one. Now in a posture like this, we might be feeling the stretch into our shoulders. We might be really feeling strengthening happening into our legs. Let your head drop completely. Feel the back of your neck lengthen. On this next breath, let's bring those arms back up to the sky. Back to warrior one. So very similar to a high lunge. The front thigh is lunging, the back leg is down, and we are reaching. From here, hands to heart center. Step your right foot into tree pose. Stay where you are. I will face you. In tree pose, you might have your right toes down. Remember that I am mirroring you. If you wish, you can take your right foot into your calf. I do recommend avoiding the knee, so you might bring your foot all the way, don't tip over, Jamie, all the way into your inner thigh. And I promise you, every time I teach a class, there's always one or two postures that do throw me off like that. And so if that ever happens to you, take a deep breath and try to root down. Balancing is not something that we perfect in one day, but it is daily practice. So we're looking for strengthening into that bottom foot, into the foot pushing into our own body. Hands to heart center makes it a little easier. Arms reaching to the sky makes it a little tougher. The further we are away from our center point, it makes it a bit more challenging, sometimes a bit more fun. I like to even do a challenge. If you want to, you can even close your eyes if you're really feeling brave. Stay where you are. We are in tree pose. On this next breath, we slowly bring your hands back to heart center. Take that right ankle above your left knee. You can stay here, or you can come down a bit. By coming down a bit, we get a deeper stretch into the outer hip. Do you remember feeling this when we were lying down? So very similar. This is standing pigeon versus laying pigeon. Maybe your hands come all the way down towards the earth. So stay where you are. Perhaps you're choosing to stay high. Perhaps you'd rather go low. This is going to be a few different variables. Maybe it is the flexibility in your hip. Maybe it's the balance or a little bit of both. Stay where you are as you are in your standing pigeon variation. We slowly work our way up to balance. Hands to heart center. Take your right foot back to warrior three. In warrior three, you're feeling strength through both legs. Hands to heart center, off to your sides, or in front. From warrior three, we gently step that right leg back into high crescent lunge. From high crescent lunge, inhale, arms up. On exhale, turn your body towards the right. This is warrior two. So again, I am mirroring you. If it feels as if you're not sure where your leg should be, take a moment right here. Reset. You'll have your left leg lunging, pointing forward. Your right leg straight. And your feet will be perpendicular to each other. So it looks like a capital T from back foot to front foot. Let's have the arms long here. In warrior two, your body is sideways, but you can turn your head in front of your left arm. Let's inhale, reach the left arm forward. Let's exhale, reverse warrior. Stay lunging through that left leg. So what should we feel here? There are a couple things that could be happening. You can be out of breath. If that's the case, take a deep breath. You might be feeling this into your legs. That's really common in any warrior posture. Leg strengtheners. Or you feel a stretch in the side body. Let's take this here overhead, extended side angle. So your right arm framing your ear, actively reaching overhead. This is extended side angle. We're going to bring one movement to one breath. Inhale, we reverse, warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. One more per side. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, extended side angle. On this next breath, with that top right arm, you might take it behind your back. This is 1/2 of a bind. And you can stay here. If you do want to go a little further, this is where we go step by step. Take your left hand down to the earth or around and underneath that front leg. If that feels like too much, don't get discouraged. We'll stay where we're most confident. If you're in a bind, go ahead and unravel. Let's all meet back in warrior 2. As you inhale, you'll straighten your front left leg. As you exhale, you'll push your upper body forward. Let's take a moment here. Does this feel like too much? If so, bring your feet closer together. From here, we take triangle pose. Drop the hands down. Imagine an analog clock. So the top hand is at 12, the bottom hand is at 6. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. You can look up to your top hand. How does your neck feel? If not so great, you will look down. From here, let's inhale that left arm up. Reverse triangle. Exhale, back to triangle. From here, that top right arm, we're gonna bring it down towards your front leg and you'll turn your body off to the corner. So from here, take your left knee for a slight bend. If you see me, I might start at 1/3 of the way. I am in a lateral lunge. My hips are pushed back. My toes and my knees are off to the corner. So wherever your knees go, make sure your toes follow and vice versa. That you do want your knees and toes to be aligned. You can have your hands at your hips or on your front thigh, but do make sure you feel stable. You might feel the stretch in your inner right groin or even behind the knee. If you feel it behind the knee, bend a little. We're going to switch sides, so we simply move to the other leg. Give yourself a moment to feel that deep stretch. Inner thigh, into the groin, even in the hamstrings. Let's take that again. Other side, the first side. Now perhaps we're feeling as if there's more to be stretched. If so, you might come lower. Hands might come down to the floor. For today, I do recommend keeping the heel down so that we're able to allow our calves to do their job of feeling that stretch. Let's do that once more to the other side. So again, if your mat is parallel to mine, you see that we're going to be changing directions on the mat. If you're facing a different direction, no problem. We'll be facing the different side of the mat for a short period of time, just so you have a heads up. Go ahead and turn your body all the way off to the right side. From here, you'll take your hands below shoulder, take your right knee to your right wrist, pigeon pose. You're facing the other side of your mat. And so this gets a little bit weird, for lack of better terms. But just because we change directions, don't let that throw you off. Use this as a chance to take a deep breath, to reacclimate, if you will, to recenter. So in pigeon pose, this is going to feel similar to what we felt when we were standing and what we felt when we were lying down. Hands can stay right below the shoulders. If you do want a deeper stretch, you might bring your forearms down, or my personal favorite, forehead down to hands. And when you're in this posture, you'll notice that this might not tax you in the same way standing and balancing was. So we call this a little bit more restorative. Take a little bit longer here to really enjoy the full depth of the stretch in your outer hips. If you feel this in the knee that's bent, you'll go ahead and lift up a little higher. So you'll lift your body up. Less pressure on that bottom knee. We're here for one more big breath. On your exhale, let's take that back leg, your back left leg, and we'll wrap around. You're going to hug your knee into your chest. So we'll start with a seated spinal twist. What you can do here is take your left hand behind your back. You can take your right arm up overhead. We always look for length first. And we twist. You'll take your right elbow outside of your left thigh and you'll turn. You're using your own body for leverage. If it's your first time or first couple of times in yoga, then of course you're not looking for a very deep twist, but you're almost looking to get your feet in the water and getting comfortable moving in this way. I do recommend turning your head all the way over your back left shoulder so you can get a full twist. Our spine has 3 parts, from the lower and the middle back to even the neck. So here in seated twist, we feel it in all parts. When we twist, it might feel a little harder to take a deep breath. Take your time. Try to get into a big inhale anyway. As you exhale, we are going to slowly reverse the way we came in. You'll take that left leg, take it right behind your body. We'll meet in pigeon once more for not too long. And you'll step your right foot back to meet your left into plank position. From plank, you can choose your flow. I'll do option 1. Knees down, body to the earth. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, body down. Gently push yourself away from the earth, and let's all meet back in downward facing dog. And we'll walk the dog. And don't you worry, everything we do on one side, we'll do on the other. Let's slowly inhale up onto the toes. Exhale, bend both knees. Inhale, walk your feet to handstanding forward fold. You might grab the opposite elbow and sway side to side. Let's slowly roll our way up. I'll meet you in mountain pose, and we are facing a different side of the mat. And we use this moment to catch your breath, to reacclimate, arms at your sides. From here, feet together if it's available for you. Inhale, arms up, overhead. Exhale, swan dive into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands below shoulders. Step 1 foot back at a time. Option 1, knees down. Option 2, on your toes. Bend your elbows. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, body back down to the earth. Keeping those elbows bent, let's push away from the earth into downward facing dog. Remember, I am mirroring you. As you inhale, take your right leg high to the sky. Exhale, right foot through high crescent lunge. In high lunge, you might choose to have your hands at your hips. Let's stabilize a moment. Maybe you're ready for more, or even more than that. We're going to use this time to stay absolutely still. Now, just because our body stays still, that doesn't mean our breath does. So do take your deep breath. Do feel the benefit of hip opening, of leg strengthening. If and when you're ready, hands to heart center. So you're going to turn over your front leg, so it should be over your right thigh. You can stay here. Even the slightest twist, it does increase intensity. Intensity being the stretch that you get in your hips. So you can stay, or you might hook that elbow outside of your thigh. Maybe you open the arms. Maybe you take the bind. So remember, no pressure to pick any one pose. You want to do what feels appropriate and what you feel confident doing. We are going to slowly unravel the arms, hands to heart center, back in high crescent lunge. With your left heel lifted, let's go ahead and place that heel down. We're doing what we did on the first side. We just switched our lead leg. So here we are in warrior 1 legs. Arms are reaching high, our body's facing forward. We'll slowly bring the hands behind our body. Do you want to stay here? You can. That's a great shoulder stretch. Can your fists come together? That's another challenge. Or would you like to bring your palms together? That'll be the deepest stretch, but deeper doesn't always mean better in the stretch. Do what feels okay. We're going to bring that head downward into humble warrior 1. Let that head drop. As we find stability in our legs, remember to surrender your upper body to really reap the benefit of true stretching here. On this next breath, we slowly roll our way up, arms high, into warrior one. Hands to heart center. Take that left leg up into tree pose. You can stay where you are. Remember, we're on a different leg. So your right foot's down, your left leg is on the floor. Maybe a little higher onto the calves, or even into your inner thigh. So here we are in tree pose. We're on a different leg. Maybe this leg is more stable for you. You might feel comfortable extending and growing those branches. So please take your time to decide what feels right for right now, even if you've done this 20 times before. And if you wish, you can close your eyes to really challenge your awareness within your body. Please open your eyes if they were closed. We're going to take that left ankle above the right knee, and you can stay right there, or you can get a little lower and lower. So just like we felt when we were on our back, we're feeling it while we're standing. So we're on a different leg, so it's a different outer hip. You can stay, or you can reach lower and lower and lower. Please stay where you are. We'll be here for a few more deep breaths. In this folded position, what we look to feel is something similar, but also something different enough that we're able to decide, do we like that difference? Do we like the challenge of balance? It's okay if you don't like it right now, but it's a really wonderful time to be present with yourself in these postures. On this next breath, we're going to slowly ascend. Take your left leg back into warrior three. So this is a balanced posture. Your core is engaged. Your left leg long. Your arms choosing behind, center, or forward. There's not one right way. There are many right ways to do this. You'll take that left leg down. High lunge on inhale. Turn your body towards your left, warrior two. And we will take a moment here. So do recall that we're on a different leading leg. It'll be your right thigh lunging, your left leg long. You can take your arms open. Remember that your body does face to the side, but your head can look over your front hand. As you inhale, let's reach your right arm forward. And exhale, let's reverse that warrior for a moment. Anytime we do a warrior posture, a lot of lower body stability. Use your breath to respond to the physical stress that I might be causing you. As we inhale, we'll stay right here. On exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, let's reverse again. On your exhale, let's go back. And we're going to do this one more time each. And just because I am going at a certain pace, you might choose to go even a little slower, or maybe a little faster. Let's go ahead and take it again into extended side angle. You could stay here. If you'd like, you can bring that top arm back into half a bind. With your right arm, you might come lower or underneath that front thigh for a shoulder bind. And it's not uncommon to have one arm to be able to do this, and this side doesn't feel as open, because usually one of us is right-handed and the other's left-handed. You might be familiar with that. So go ahead and unbind. If you're in a bind, we'll go back to extended side angle. Come on back to warrior two. Let's inhale, straighten your front leg. So here we have both legs straight. You can bring the hips backward and the arm forward. If that feels like it's too much, bring your feet closer together. We're coming down into triangle pose. This time, your left hand at 12, your right hand at 6. From here, inhale. Let's go ahead and reverse triangle for a moment. Exhale, triangle again. With your left hand, you're going to bring it downward towards the floor. And you'll turn your toes and knees off to a 45-degree or a corner. So just find a corner wherever you're at, and that's where you'll point your toes for now. That's also where your knees will follow. So here I am looking to open the other leg. Your right knee is bending, your left leg is long, and you are welcome to stay nice and high to get your feet wet, or go a little lower and lower. We've already been here twice on each side already. So take your time, because now that we repeat these postures, we don't repeat for the sake of repeating, but we repeat because now we're familiar. We might feel more flexible, more open, and more willing to try new things. Go ahead and switch to the other side. My favorite thing about this particular posture is that it's a movement that for the most part I wouldn't naturally do. Not walking forward, not reaching up. So it almost feels so good because of that it's different. For others, maybe because it's so different, it doesn't feel all that great, so maybe you don't go further. Let's go ahead and take it to one more each side. And then we can switch on over to the other side. So what we are doing is we are on a different side of the mat, almost to the front of the mat, or where you first started from. So go ahead and turn your body off to the front or the first side of your mat that you were on earlier. And you'll take your left knee to left wrist. Pigeon pose. So give yourself a moment. We are actually going to be here for a little longer than most of our postures. I like to have my knee pretty bent, so I start with my leg close to my body. If you feel like you're not getting enough out of this stretch, you're welcome to bring your foot a little bit further away. Hands can be right below shoulders. You can come down to your forearms, or again, I said it before, my favorite is forehead down to my arm. And I like that so that my neck gets a chance to truly stretch. The more you practice or do anything, you begin to have your favorites, whether it's a favorite posture in class, maybe it's a favorite dish at a restaurant. The more you expose yourself to anything, you'll find that you'll have some parts of it that you really like. So I do hope that you leave today's class with a posture or two that you really do like. So pigeon here is a posture that I do almost daily, if not every day, because usually the hips get pretty tight from sitting for a long duration. From your pigeon posture, we're going to slowly work our way up. Hands below shoulders. Now you can take that right leg that's behind you. We're going to bring it around. Like we did earlier, it's seated spinal twist. So your right knee is into chest. You can take your right hand behind your back. With your left arm, you can reach up to the sky and hook left elbow outside right thigh using your own body as leverage. And you can look over your back right shoulder. And this is where it hits three parts of the spine. From your lumbar spine, that's your lower back, to your thoracic spine, that's right in the middle of your back. And I do hope you might feel something good here. This is your cervical spine, your neck, as you reach and look over your back shoulder. And just like I said earlier with the twisting, it's actually hard to breathe deeply. That doesn't mean we don't do it, but it also doesn't mean we force it. So do take your time and see if you can expand into the belly as you inhale. On your exhale, we are going to unravel, bring that right leg back behind your body, hands below shoulders, step your left foot back to meet right in plank position. From here, you can pick your flow, so you can modify with me, or you can go free for all chaturanga, Dandasana here. And we'll all come back into downward facing dog. On this next breath, inhale up onto your toes. Exhale, bend both knees. Walk your feet to hands into that forward fold. Grab the opposite elbow. Roll your way up. And bring your arms off to the side. You can stay facing forward like you are, and I'll walk you through this next posture. In this next posture, you can have your arms off to your sides. Get under my tree here. And what you'll do is you'll take your left leg and cross it over your right. So here I am, crossing at my legs. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be staggered, but you're going to take your left leg, cross it over your right. So take a moment there. On this next breath, let's bring the arms up overhead. Okay, I'm going to get away from this tree. Go ahead and grab your top left wrist. from here, we'll gently turn our arms off towards the right side. We'll slowly bring our upper body to center, switch wrist, bring our arms off towards the left side. What you might feel is the side body opening up, squeezing at the glutes, keeping the feet anchored down. Keep your legs where they are. Bring your arms to center, hands to center. You might come a third of the way down. So this is why we're going slow. The back of your leg, on the leg that's furthest back, that's where you might feel this, in the hamstring. You might choose to come halfway down or fully forward fold. Your legs are still across. And this is a deeper stretch. You might even feel this in the outer hip. We're going to gently roll our way up and simply do this again to the other side. So take your right leg, cross it over your left. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be slightly staggered or fully crossed. But what you really want to feel here is confidence that you won't tip to either side. Let's bring the arms overhead. You can grab your right wrist, lean off to the side. With your arms left, your hips right. Don't worry, we're doing both sides. Come on to center, switch to your other wrist, and lean off to the other side. Come on to center. You might come a third, halfway, or all the way down. So now it's the other leg that gets that very deep stretch. Slowly roll your way up, uncross your legs, and you can stay facing forward. On this next breath, I'm going to invite you to bring your feet wider than your hips. I do have the toes and knees out to a 45-degree angle or so, and you can meet me maybe a third or halfway down into what's called Malasana Yogi Squat. If there is space in your hips, you might choose to come lower and lower. You should not feel this in your lower back. You should not feel this in your knees. But if you do, just don't go as low. Here we are in a hip opener, using your elbows to open the knees slightly wider. In this groin and hips opener here, focus on your posture. Can you keep your torso tall? On this next breath, keeping yourself in squat, can you bring your arms overhead? As you exhale, slowly take your hands to heart center. We're going to do this 2 more times. Inhale, arms reach overhead, using your core strength. Exhale, hands to heart center. Once more here. Inhale, the arms up, high, posture. Exhale, hands down to heart center. From here, hands come down towards the earth. Bring the hips high into a forward fold with your feet a little wider than they were earlier. On this next breath, slowly roll your way up. And from here, have a seat onto your mat. Eventually work your way down on to your back. Once you're on your back, we'll start off here with a couple of different postures in the way of our hips. So what you might do is bend your knees so that your heels are directly below them. You can bring your feet so they are about hips width distance. And from here, you can have your arms right at your sides. On this next breath, what we'll do is bring movement to arms and hips at the same time. Squeeze your glutes, inhale, glute bridge with the arm raise. Can you bring the arms overhead and maybe to the mat? Exhale, hips come down as the arms come down. Let's take that again. Inhale, squeeze the glutes, bring the hips high, bring the arms up.
As you exhale, let's bring those hips down with the arms. And we are going to do this one more time here. Big inhale. And on exhale. So now we've prepped our legs for what's to come. So on this next bridge, we're going to hold a bit longer. You're welcome to watch me first before you jump in. We're going to squeeze the glutes, bring the hips high. I might choose to either A, stay here with my hands supporting my hips. I might B, choose to have my arms down to my sides. I might C, bring my shoulders underneath my body and clasp my hands together. 3 different options, all with the intention of opening the quadriceps of the hips, but strengthening our glutes and our hamstrings. We are going to hold this posture for 2 more big breaths. Stay pushing into your feet. Take it here for 1 more big breath. And as you exhale, we'll slowly release. Bring the hips down, moving the shoulders away. From here, we'll bring the knees into chest. Together, we'll move our knees clockwise. We'll move the knees counterclockwise. And from here, we're going to do this together. We'll take both legs up to the side. You are welcome to stay right here. This is a wonderful way to feel, again, more into the hamstrings, even into the calves. We pull our toes back. Now, perhaps you're ready for a little bit more. If that's the case, I would like you to watch me first and then attempt, because I would like your head fixed onto your mat instead of looking and then doing what I'm about to do. So keep your head glued onto the mat once you see what we're doing. On this next breath, we go into shoulder stand. So we're squeezing the glutes, bringing the legs up high. And we're looking to feel this stretch from the back of our legs, but also even into our spine. The muscles that elongate the spine, I should say. So here we are in shoulder stand if you're choosing to do this, or maybe having your legs straight up. If your legs are here, we're going to be here for 2 more deep breaths, actively lifting through the feet, nice and still through the head and the cervical spine, and the elbows anchored to the mat. We are here for 1 more big breath. Again, no need to look at the screen here. Look between your toes. And on exhale, we're going to bring ourselves back down the way we came in. Hugging both knees into chest. We'll do this together. Bring both knees off to your left side. Spinal twist. Your shoulders, however, stay down. With your head, look over your right shoulder. In spinal twist, you might feel this most in your lumbar spine. That's your lower back. Now, if you want a deeper stretch, what you can do is even straighten your legs. That almost acts as if there's more weight into the twist. But again, if that feels like a lot, just bend your knees. So here we are rotating at the spine, trying to feel relaxation, but also trying to feel our shoulders anchoring to also get a deep opening. On this next breath, we're going to bring the knees back to center, and we're going to switch to the other side. Knees off towards your right, shoulders stay down, head off towards your left. Your arms can lengthen. You might feel the stretch into your biceps. And if it feels available, you'll straighten your legs. That'll give you a deeper stretch. But maybe you don't want that. From here, if you want to stay longer, feel free to do so. Otherwise, we do come back to center. In this next posture, we're going to keep both knees bent, and we'll bring our feet up towards the sky into happy baby. Now, we may have felt something similar to this when we were in our squat, with the groin and the hip opening. If it's available, you can either start by hugging your thighs. Maybe reaching for your shins is accessible. But if it's possible, maybe even going for the big toe. So we'll bend both knees and pull the feet downward towards our body. And what do we feel here? A little bit of pressure, but please don't put on more pressure than you can handle. Keeping your head rested on the mat and feeling your neck not have to do any extra work. If you wish, like a happy baby would, you might even roll side to side. That's going to act like a massage into your sacrum, your lower back, or you might choose to stay absolutely still. On this next breath, you can straighten both legs or one leg at a time, if it's available. We are going to cross together the right thigh over the left thigh. It doesn't have to be perfect, so getting as close as you can. We'll bend at both knees. You can grab the shins or the ankles and you'll hug your knees into your chest. Now this digs deep into that outer hip as well. So we felt this many times today. Maybe we were on our back, or maybe we felt it when we were standing and doing pigeon, or maybe this is all new. Maybe this is a different area that feels tight. So our body is quite complex. We're going to really just listen to how our body feels. If it doesn't feel great, of course, release how close your leg is to your body. Let's switch to the other side. Left thigh over right, or as close as you can. You'll bend at the knees and you can stay at your shins, or if it's available, grab your ankles. With yoga, it's definitely a practice where do what you can and really embrace the whole process. Because with yoga, you don't have to be anything to practice yoga. You don't need to be flexible. You don't need to be strong. Maybe a little bit willing. But once you're here, everything can be scalable. So do what you can with what you have, with the energy you have for this moment, and just enjoy it. We are going to slowly release those legs. And next, we gently extend into Shavasana. So this is a really fun part of practice where you lie down, but you simply not just lie down, but you let go. Let go of the deep breathing. Let go of any pressure in your body. We'll do a quick body scan. Bring the energy to your head. Unclench the muscles into your jaw. Feel space embody your neck. Feel your torso and hips melt downward towards the earth. Feel your legs relax from all the warrior postures today. And just be. Shavasana is where we reap the benefits of our practice. Shavasana is comparable to sleep when we repair our body and our mind. While you are here, if you want to stay longer, stay longer. Enjoy your rest. If you'd like, and if you're ready, bring the attention to your toes and fingertips. You might wiggle. You might bring some movement. Bring the arms overhead, and you might stretch just like how you would first thing in the morning, and as long as tall as you can. You can turn your body perhaps towards the screen or toward any position you're comfortable with. And we're going to gently push ourselves away from the earth. You can sit however you feel comfortable and bring your hands to heart center. The light in me honors the light inside each and every one of you. Namaste. And thank you all for joining.
Recording has stopped.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much for joining and staying for the whole thing.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. It was really good. Great.
Thank you for joining, everyone. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Jill, do you know how many students we had?